Hi, everybody. So at this point, we have worked our way through almost all of the body systems. We have two systems left, and they are both about regulation. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about regulation to set the stage for those last two body systems. So if you take a look at some of these pictures we have here, we have a little kid who suddenly sees a car coming, a little sweat dripping, and running. Right? That would be the thing to do. And then we have a picture of a person touching a hot stove and pulling their hand away in pain and saying, ouch. We have an eagle that's seen a fish, has dove for it, and has caught it. That's an amazing photograph, catching that eagle right at that moment. All right, those are all about regulation. So regulation is the control of responses to environmental stimuli to maintain homeostasis. Now, what does that mean? Well, here, little guy running, right? Sees the car. Oh my God, there's a car, right? I'm gonna die. That car is gonna squish me, and I am going to lose blood, and my bones are going to break, and I'm not going to be able to stay warm, and everything's going to come apart, and I'm going to die, right? So, whoa, I better run, okay? So in that case, there's a car. There's a change in the environment. That's called a stimulus. There's a change. There's something that has changed in the environment that has that is threatening a constant internal environment. So the kid sees it, there's observing, maybe hears it, maybe feels the rumble of the ground, right? And looks up, sees the car, and runs. The car is a change in the environment. The running is an attempt to make sure that everything inside the body stays the same, isn't squished, right? And in this case, the stimulus is the car. The response is running, maybe sweating too. We'll talk about that a bit. And if he gets to the other side without getting run over, his blood pressure will stay the same, and his temperature will stay the same, and his bones will stay in shape, and he will have a constant internal environment. He will maintain homeostasis. Same thing here. This person has a stimulus. There's a hot thing that they're touching in the environment, and it will damage the cells in the hand. And so the response by the person is to pull the hand away so that they maintain homeostasis so they don't destroy the cells. Same thing with the bird. Bird feels hungry because they have dropping blood sugar levels. They have less energy. They need food in order to keep producing ATP by respiration. So that's the problem that they might encounter. So they see a fish, it's a stimulus in the environment, they respond by diving and they grab it and they eat in order to maintain homeostasis so that they can keep making ATP and having energy and doing. It's a constant internal environment. Another term for homeostasis is dynamic equilibrium, and the Regents loves to use that term. All right, so as we said, the action taken by the organism, that is the response. That's the kid running, the guy pulling his hand away from the stove, the eagle diving and catching the fish. That's the response. A stimulus or stimuli, if it's more than one, is the change in the environment. So that would be the car or the hot stove or the fish. Those are the stimuli in each of those cases. And then a constant internal environment is homeostasis. The kid doesn't have blood all over the road. The guy hasn't destroyed his cells, and the bird continues to make ATP and have building blocks. Okay, so those are the elements of regulation. There are two systems that do regulation, and there's two types of regulation. There's nervous regulation that uses the nervous system. You can see it here. That's the nervous system. It's made of the brain, the spinal cord, and all of these peripheral nerves that come off. Okay. And the nervous system allows you to sense things. You can see things. You can touch things. You can taste, smell. And so you have all these different senses that are connected to nerves that send messages to your brain. And then your brain sends messages to your muscles to do things in response. So the nervous system is important for regulation because it allows you to respond to things, okay? The thing about the nervous regulation is it's really fast. So if I'm a little guy and I'm walking across the road, right, and I feel the road vibrating and I hear the car and then I see the car, all within less than a second, I see it, make a decision, and my muscles are running, right? I am going, I am cooking. So that's really fast. I can react quickly and get out of the way of that car, or the little guy can. And when I decide to stop, it stops immediately. It's not like when I get to the opposite side of the road, my muscles keep going for a while. I can just stop them when it's time to stop, right? So it is, nervous system is fast to react and it's fast to stop. There's another system that's really important for regulation, and that's your endocrine system. It uses chemicals. This is chemical regulation. It uses chemicals called hormones. The endocrine system is probably the one system that we're talking about this year that you really don't know much about. It's really kind of new. We will spend some time on it. It is unlike like the digestive system or the nervous system or the circulatory system. It's actually not all connected. It's like there's an organ up here, there's an organ here, there's an organ here, there's some here, there's just like they're all over the place and they're separated and they can only connect with each other with the bloodstream. So you can think of all of these pieces. There's a piece there and a piece there and a piece there. There's some there and there's one there and there's these or those, depending on whether you're male or female. And there's actually one that's not shown right here, right? So they've got all these different separate organs. You can think of them as one system connected by the blood that travels back and forth, okay? And that's the endocrine system. And the endocrine system is very different than the nervous system. It doesn't have direct connections with nerves. It's got blood and it can be really slow. So let's go back to the little guy and the car. Guy sees the car, message to the brain, to the muscles, running. Okay, really fast. But as that happens, the brain is also saying, hey, we may have a really serious problem here, and we're going to need to produce extra ATP because we have a crisis and we're going to need all alarms, all systems go, right? For whatever's coming, because there's something coming and we haven't even had time to think about what it is, but we better get some energy. And so immediately, your brain doesn't just send a message to your muscles to run. It sends a message to some part of your endocrine system called the adrenal glands, and those make a chemical called adrenaline. And that adrenaline pours into your bloodstream and goes all over your body and starts alarm bells everywhere. Make more ATP, heart beat faster, diaphragm breathe faster, get more oxygen and more sugar burnt. Let's go. Respiration has to increase. We have to make more ATP, and your heart rate goes really fast to deliver the sugar, and your breathing rate goes really fast to deliver more oxygen. And all of that happens. It takes a little bit longer than to get started running, right? The nervous system reacts really fast. That hormonal change, that impulse, the adrenaline push, that takes a little bit longer to get going. And then the kid gets to the other side of the road. Whew, made it. But how do you feel after a crisis for a while? Your heart might still be beating, right? You get kind of clammy hands and you're breathing and you feel kind of shaky, right? That's the adrenaline still in your system. And it lasts longer. It doesn't stop as quickly, okay? So they're very different systems. The nervous system, fast stopping. The hormonal system with the endocrine system, slower to react, but will last longer and carry you through much more long-term crises. And those are our two types of regulation, ways that your body can respond to a change in the environment, a stimulus in the environment that causes you to to change your behavior so that the inside of your body stays constant. You maintain homeostasis.